clear. With yellow flags again. Oh, and then it's over.
No way! I cannot believe it!
Well,
it's not that in contact!
Everyone is fighting here. It's almost for white going into the hairpin.
Goes over to the left as well.
Yeah.
Derek goes down the inside, goes takes it to turn one. Almost close there.
God, is this a fantastic race! Lost a bit of tire grip here. Man, it's back in 3 seconds! Raw's back.
Gets it
There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to GSR. We're finally back, and we can now say welcome to season 15, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, here we are once again heading into a new season of GSR. We've got so many things to cover up, but first of all, I want to introduce you to my co-commentator today. Once again, Matt. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Oh, wait. No. Isn't, so, no. Can you say something now? Yeah, that was quick.
Yes. Okay. Hello. I'm feeling pretty good, even though with the small technical difficulties. We are starting back again. We are in Australia, in Albert Park Circuit in Melbourne, and we are starting season 15 of GR.
Oh, hello, Matt. You're gone? Matt? Okay. Don't know what happened there. Seems like Matt also has some technical difficulties here for the first race of the season. Yeah. I jump right in then, and once again, hello guys. It's good to be back. It's good to have the first race of the season here. Yeah, again, and also again at Melbourne. One of the, I really like it, one of my favorite tracks. I really love to have the season open here. I think it's a great atmosphere here around this track. And let me see some better here. Good. Yeah, and we are now in a new season, so a lot of things have changed, but also a couple of things stay the same. We've got a couple new drivers in. For example, we got MM Overdrive here as a rookie for the Williams team. We got Nick AC in the Sauber team. He's a reserve actually, but he can jump in tonight, so good to have him here as well. We got Pellegro Jr. for McLaren, also a reserve, but he's also here today. Then we got Dolly in the Red Bull and Call Me Uncle in the Williams. So we got a new lineup for Williams, completely new lineup. We got a completely new lineup for McLaren. Even if Pellegro Jr. wouldn't race today, the main driver for McLaren is also a new one, but you will see him then probably next week. But of course we also have a lot of returning drivers. We got Thalo and Hitman driving for Haas at the moment. Speed Demon goes P1. He is obviously also a returning driver, driving for Red Bull this season. Then we got Liverpool also back again in the Mercedes. We got 8 of course in the Ferrari. We got Souls also in the Mercedes. We got Jimbo of course. Yeah, I can't imagine a season without Jimbo. He is back again driving for Aston Martin. Then we also got Alfie in the McLaren. But of course we do have our champion. After a little bit of questions if he would race again this season, we got Vapor in again. And if you saw the team selection process last Sunday, I believe it was, where we randomized the teams and the drivers to assign the drivers to their teams. It was completely random, but it was Vapor being put in the Alpine again, just like last season. So yeah, he might want to defend the title till then in the same team as he won it in last season, sorry. But it's gonna be difficult. He said he wanted to make things a little bit more interesting, starting from the back of the grid for every race. Let's see if that will be the case. At least he retired already from this qualifying session, so at least he will do it for this race then. And yeah, let's see what he can do then from that last spot on the grid. Let's go back to... oh, I dropped back just a second, my connection broke. Okay, Matt. Yeah. Oh yeah, so Matt is gone. Yeah, anyway, Matt will then come back in a couple of seconds. What else can I tell you? We got still a couple of minutes left in this qualifying session. As we see, most drivers coming in. Liverpool will be starting a lap. Yeah, so what can I tell you about Season 15 then? Season 15 of GSR starting here and now. Tonight we've got 12 races ahead of us, just like last year. The calendar is a little bit more changed. Something stayed the same, others have changed. For example, the season opener, of course, stayed the same, like I mentioned already. We are starting here in Australia once again, before we head on to, yeah, kind of Asian tour, as we are heading to China, Shanghai, next week for the second round of the season. We move on to Bahrain the week after that, and finalizing this Asian split of the season in Qatar. One of the tracks where we haven't done many races in GSR before. I think 1 or 2 maybe. So in 1 or 2 seasons. But yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. One of the highlights of the first half of the season. I would say that I'm very much looking forward to. Qatar, very interesting track. Like I said, not many races before. So yeah, let's look forward to that as we see Liverpool spinning around at... Is it Senna or Prost the corner? It's the second last corner. The last left hand of the track. I think he clipped the grass on the inside there maybe a little bit. But it also maybe the brake balance that played a big role in there. But yeah, very interesting spin in the entry of the corner in the braking zone. Yeah, unlucky for him there, as it was looking for like a decent lap time from him. 8 meanwhile goes P4. Good improvement for him then. And yeah, after the Qatar Grand Prix, we have 2 races left in the first half of the season, which will be continuing as Thalo goes into provisional pole position at the minute, 1 minute 15.4. We head on to Austria, then Belgium, I believe, and for the last race before Christmas, round 7, we head off to Silverstone. So yeah, very excited for that race as well. After Silverstone, we start off the second half of the season, basically. Round 8 will be Monza, and then I have to look it up, to be fair, because I can't remember. Kota then, round 9. Then comes Mexico after that, Japan, Suzuka being the second last race of the season, round 11, and the final, obviously, being held again in Brazil, just like it is usual for GSR. Yeah, so like I said, very, very good calendar. I'm really much looking forward to that. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a very, very good season ahead of us. We also have the return of Tier 2. Yeah, we got a second tier coming up again, just like in the good old days. Tier 2 will be on Friday then. So also this week then will be the first race of Tier 2. So make sure, if you haven't followed the channel, please do so. And then you will receive a notification when Tier 2 goes live on Friday. Same time as here today, 7 PM British time. And yeah, I think that's gonna be very good. I myself will be driving in it. So yeah, also very excited for that, as we see both McLaren now jumping to P3 and 4. Alfie goes P3, Pettigrew Jr. goes P4. Very good. Speedy then beats the lap time from Thalo again. 1 minute 15.2 is now the time to beat. As we also have Dolly then, one of our newcomers here, driving around the circuit right now. Yeah, Q2 is gonna be very interesting because we have many new drivers in there.
Hello, I'm back.
Oh, hello. Yeah, working now.
I am back. I am back.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Yeah, some technical difficulties today. But I think that happens.
Yeah, just lost the connection for some moments, lost the router. But now we're back, and we're seeing Dolly struggling through the second final corner and going back into the pits. See, it's getting very interesting. Speed Demon in the front in his new Red Bull livery well, actually he's reserving, as you probably mentioned, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see what everyone can do.
Yeah, so I basically talked about, I don't know if you saw the stream maybe or something, but just basically summarizing everything that is going on this season, the calendar, and that we got 2 tiers, so we haven't talked much about the on-track action right now. I mean, we're just briefly covering Alfie and Pellegro Jr., so good performance so far from the McLaren guys. Haas also so far good performance from them. As we see Nick then, one of our debutants then today, starting another lap, goes very wide into turn 1, but he does not invalidate, so good job from him there. As he comes now down towards turn 3, very tricky braking zone, we see his tires locking up there. And now into this technical middle sector, nearly crashes into the wall, barely kept it out of the wall. That was
nearly
a great
lost
save.
it.
Yeah.
Nearly lost it. But Aid is doing not bad, actually. He has to carry Ferrari for this first round, unfortunately, as some other drivers do as well. But we do have our front runners from last season, Alfie, Fallow, Speed Demon. Unfortunately, Laza couldn't join us for the first race, as he also went through some technical difficulties. But I think we will see an interesting battle, as you were probably briefing everyone about the drivers. I just think from the predictions, it seems very exciting going into this season. We had many quick drivers joining in at the last races of last season, and we'll see if they can show us a great fight for the championship, I guess. As we now have Souls warming up his tires, predicting from the time trial times, second Mercedes drivers, but maybe he may surprise our own Jonas Liverpool and the other Mercedes seat as he goes on to starting the lap. And we see Jonas in front of him exiting the pit lane. Will he give him some slipstream on the second DRS straight? Yes, a little bit. That's nice teamwork, actually, and nice timing from the Mercedes drivers. It was quite close there. Souls locking up, but he did make it into the corner. Going now through turn 5, flat out corner. Very nice, clean line so far. We'll see. I'm not sure if this is accurate, but if it is, then he's improving by quite a lot, and he will be close to his teammate if he keeps it up. Now onto the DRS straight, obviously the section that was modernized a couple of years back in 2022, I think. And into the fast chicane of turn 9 and 10, keeping it very nice within the track limits. And now into turn 11, very tricky also after the modernizations. He will have to be let go by the Aston Martin driver of Jimbo. And now into the final corners. Very nice, very clean. Smooth driving from him. We'll see if that's quick. A little bit of a twitch of the final corner. And it's an improvement. Very close to his teammate, but doesn't overtake him. Stays P11.
Yeah, and something that I just wanted to point out with the more detailed results that we got last year, or last season I should say, we could actually make a little bit of a comparison to last season's qualifying, where Speedyman also took pole back in a Sauber car back in the days, of course, and it is quite close actually between him, his best time now, as Hitman goes P2 right now, and the pole position last year. So last year, Speed Demon did a pole position time from 1 minute 15.213. So also 2 tenths, but just 200s quicker than right now. So let's see if he can beat his own lap time from last season, or maybe somebody else could beat his lap time. Maybe Overdrive, who we see coming through the final corners now. He's obviously also one of our rookies this season. And the Williams comes around the final corner now, a little bit sliding through the penultimate corner, but out of the final corner it looked clear as he comes towards the line now. And it's a good improvement, P6 for the Williams driver now.
Will the Williams drivers be able to improve on last season's bleak, in a way, results? We'll see. So far so good. Call Me Uncle and Overdrive doing a good job so far, putting it in the top 10. As we watch Alfie, who was predicted to be fighting for the championship so far in P4, but trying to get close to this time set by Speed Demon. Going through the final set of corners, that was quite close to invalidating, but he does stay within the track limits. Speed Demon ends the qualifying without any improvement on his time. Very consistent considering last season's pole time of his. But now on to the main straight, Alfie goes and improves, but it's not by too much. He closes in on Hitman, but it's not enough. All of the top runners finish their runs, so it's only Nick that can actually endanger them. But will he be able to improve, jump up a couple of positions? Yes, he does go in front of 8, but that is the end of the qualifying. Speed Demon on pole again in Australia.
Yeah, once again, Speed Demon just did it like last season. Takes pole position here for the first round of the season, which will already grant him 1 point for the championship then. It doesn't seem like much, but obviously over the course of a season you can accumulate a couple of points through that, and that might make the difference then. Funny enough, just nearly the same lap time as last season then. I think that's really funny. Thaler then starting from P2, so also on the second row. Hitman then from P3. Alongside him will be Alfie and Pellegro Jr. So very good qualifying from both Haas and the McLaren drivers. That's really impressive. We have Overdrive then in P6, Nick in P7. Then we got 8 in P8. Uncle in P9, Jimbo then starting from P10. We got Liverpool and Seoul 11 and 12, Dolly P13, and Vapor in P14. Like he, already said that he will be starting from last spot on the grid. So very interested to see what he can achieve there. I already said with 8 in the preseason podcast that we did. That will come out later today, I hope. Took a little while longer to render it all. That I think this could be a very tight season in Tier 1 between the likes of Vapor, Laza I counted in as well, Thalo, maybe Speed Demon if he's racing enough races. So I think it could be very close, and I think that it might just not be enough for Vapor when he's starting all the races from the back of the grid. I think this could maybe potentially destroy his championship title chances at the end. But yeah, let's see what he can do. Maybe I'm all wrong and he's still going to win every race. Let's see what's ahead of us now in the first race of the season.
Well, we'll see. He started last season's Australia race from P2 and he finished P2. So if we're consistent, then he will start P14 and he will finish P14. But no, I also wanted to mention that Speed Demon actually finished P3, so the start from pole didn't favor him in the end. Laza won that race. Unfortunately, we don't have Laza, but you also didn't mention Alfie, who is in front of our screens right now, as well as XD Joseph could be a factor in the championship battle, I'd say. Unfortunately, he couldn't also join us today for the race, but we will see. I think there could be a lot of drivers being able to fight for the podium positions. I can think of 5 to 6 drivers, but will they be able to keep that up consistently? Because that's what matters. It's what won the championship for Vapor last year. We'll see about that.
Yeah, Vapor also just saying in a private chat that he either gonna be on a podium or he's gonna be out in turn 1. Watch this pace. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot from Vapor then today. And yeah, let's see. You also can let us know your thoughts in the chat, guys. Any guesses on who's going to win or will be on the podium? Feel free to drop that in the chat so we can also go over your predictions for this race. But yeah, anyway, I think we're just a couple of seconds away then from the start of the formation lap. Yeah, Matt, what are your thoughts about the track itself? Austria being the season opener once again. I said it while we were gone. It's a beautiful track for me. I really like it as a season opener. How about you?
I love it. It's quite a modern classic for the real life Formula 1.
Oh, hey, Matt.
Really well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You were gone for a second. I think your connection was gone again.
No, it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
it
but
should be working well. But
it's fine.
anyways, that Australia is quite a modern classic, and I feel like it's quite nice for an opener. It's quite a calm track, I would say. I don't remember a lot of big incidents happening. I feel like the racing here can be quite clean. So it's good as a warm-up, I guess, and to test out the waters to see how everyone's paces is. And it will be interesting because we mentioned all these drivers like Speed Demon, Fallow, Alfie, but we also have Pellegro Jr. very high up, as well as Hitman, who only raced, I think, once last season. But he had, I think, good result. Was it in Brazil? I can check quickly.
He raced in Brazil. He had a very good qualifying. I think it was P2 even, or P3 maybe. But he unfortunately DNF'd in the race. So
indeed, he came P2 actually.
Yeah. So tough luck for him. But he showed that he had definitely the pace. And I mean, he's just showing it here. He is P3 now in Tier 1. That's very good stuff already then. Yeah, that's also something that I talked about with 8 in the podcast. We have a lot of rookies that come into the season, into the league, and we can't really say what to expect from them. We don't know how their qualifying pace is. We don't know how their race pace is. So yeah, a lot of drivers that we can't really tell what's going on. So yeah, very interesting to see how those will be in the first race here and over the course of the season, of course. Quickly going over the tires, we have most drivers, unsurprisingly, starting on the medium tires. We do have a few outliners that will start on the hard tires, though. We got Hitman in P3, definitely by far the highest placed driver starting on the hard tires. And we also got Souls and Vapor in P12 and 14 also starting on the hard tires. So they're going to be very interesting. Very much looking like a one-stop here today, but let's see how the race will be, because safety cars are not unlikely here in Australia. There's definitely a chance that we see 1 or 2 safety cars here maybe today.
Indeed, as we saw in qualifying, it's quite easy to spin out on some of the exits of those fast corners, fast chicanes, especially the first 2 corners in the race conditions, or turn 9 and 10 could be quite tricky. But then, as we're waiting for the green flag, and it is there, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights are off, and we are underway for the Australian Grand Prix, first round of this season 15 in GSR, and we have a very good start from Speed Demon, and both Haas drivers following him cleanly throughout the first 2 corners. Oh, and we have a McLaren of Alfie spinning out from turn 2 into the wall. I didn't see if he was stabbed. I think it was a spin on his own, losing a bit of the front wing. But so far, the rest of the grid seems to be getting through quite cleanly. We see Overdrive gaining some position, as well as Jonas Liverpool up by 4 positions. A very good start from the Mercedes drivers. Alfie and Souls, the biggest losers of the lap 1, as Souls is in last positions trying to get through Alfie with front wing damage. And now as we follow the Haas drivers, they are very close, but there's no DRS yet, so it's not quite an opportunity to attack yet. Speedymon has done a very good job from the get-go, maintaining his position in front of the two Haas drivers.
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, except maybe the incident with Alfie, and I think Souls and Uncle also had a little bit of a interesting start there. But despite that, or except that, we had a very clean start here into the Australian Grand Prix. There is a chance of chaos that could happen at the first lap then, but we didn't have that much chaos. At least it was a very clean start here, most overall of the field. And yeah, now it's time to settle in. We do have Call Me Uncle and Alfie in the pit lane. Alfie, of course, we saw him spinning into the pit wall, so no surprise that he is going to change his front wing there. Yeah, but despite that, we had a very clean start. Now it's starting to concentrate to get the pace down on track. We have Speedymon still in the lead, but Thalo is very close, and who is more close is Overdrive on Hitman. So Overdrive then, maybe even going for the move here already on lap 2 into the fast left-right chicane, and he gets the move done. Overdrive now up to P3. Good start then from him on his debut here, as he's now into the podium positions.
Fresh change for Williams' team as they are getting up into the podium positions thanks to Overdrive's very good and rapid start, getting in front of both, I think, Pelligro Jr. and Hitman. But now they will be all trying to settle into the rhythm, into the race rhythm. All of them using DRS. Hitman trying to stay with Overdrive while he's trying to catch up to the top 2, but top 2 seem to be pulling away as we see some small troubles for Nick, getting going very wide into turn 1 and 2, but trying to fight back against Jonas. But Jonas seems to get the move done. Getting in front after the Zauber driver's mistake. 8 will now try to hunt him down. Oh, Jonas goes a little bit wider, but 8 and So's already with time penalties on their account as Nick actually tries to fight back on Jonas. And side by side they go into turn 9 and 10, very tricky. Oh, and they touch, and unfortunately Jonas is out of the race, and it's a safety car. It's a big incident for Jonas. So unfortunate. He only was able to race in Spain last time out, and now he wanted to do the whole season. He really loved the car choice as he races in Mercedes and ETSR as well. And Speedymon dives into the pits already. That's a bold decision, but Jonas, very unfortunate contact with Nick. I don't know what exactly happened there. Did they just both not leave each other enough space? I'm not really sure. That was very vague, but very chaotic and very unfortunate for the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the worst crashes you can have here. I mean, of course, luckily it's just a game, but in real life this would have been a very terrible incident, as we have only a virtual safety car also, by the way. And yeah, I just wanted, before, as we go green again and the race resumes then, I just wanted to point out, just before the safety car maybe ended, or well, before Speedymon got to the pit lane, I wonder if anyone would go into the pits of the medium runners, because I think you could go to the end if we switch onto hard tires now. And Speedymon did just that. He's on mediums again. Oh, sorry, never mind.
The medium.
Yeah, anyway then, you have the fight now between Nick and Vapor and 8, and both getting through. And I just wanted to point this out. Vapor, now because of the pit stop of Speedymon, of course, but he is up to P6 now. After 4 laps of racing, not even 4 laps, but yeah, he had a great start as well. Was also probably a little bit lucky that he didn't got caught up in any of the incidents that we had so far. But yeah, so great start from him. But also, we have 8 being spun around into the wall. Not sure if that
or spun himself around.
Not sure if that was on his own, but with the help of anyone. But he got wing damage, and he is immediately coming into the pits now. So no surprise there.
Yeah, that's a tricky corner there to exit from, and I think he did that on his own, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, but Vapor already up to P5, actually fighting with Nick. No, fighting with Jimbo side by side. I think he lost some time there because he was in front of Nick. Now trying to fight back. He may have gone wide there. But yeah, that's an interesting development, an interesting decision from Speed Demon. Is he gonna try to stop and try to?
Well, he has.
No,
he has
that's
to. He started.
well, he has
started on
to,
mediums.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but then he has to go at fiery pace every lap, basically. He has to hot lap the whole track for 25 laps straight. That would be quite an achievement.
Yeah,
So we'll see what he does, but
But to be fair, look at the gap between him and Vapor. He's kind of doing it right now. The gap between Vapor and Speed Demon is coming down drastically, I would say. It's like half a second each sector right now. Of course, Vapor is getting hold up here a little bit by all those cars in front. And we also have, oh, sorry, we have to fight between Hitman and Thalo, and Hitman taking the lead. Maybe not really a fight, but he got through on his teammate. So much going on, and here we have Vapor going for the
three
move.
wide almost.
Oh, and Nick running wide again into one. That left the door open for Vapor, who's going through now, and maybe Jimbo wants to go through as well, but can't quite make it. To be fair, Jimbo is a very fair driver. He doesn't send it usually somewhere in and just push the other guys off track. He's usually staying behind and play the safe road. So fair play on him, but yeah, Vapor now up into P5.
Hitman up into the lead in front of his teammate, but getting a time penalty, which does hinder a lot his ambitions to win this race. But we'll see how the other drivers fare. So far, oh, Fallow a bit wide there, but he may have slowed down a bit to not get a warning, but that will let Overdrive get very close. The hot teammates have to work together, although Hitman almost spinning there, a small half spin from their small twitch, and Overdrive goes very close, and Fallow, a mistake right in front of our eyes, getting locking up the rears massively and spinning out of P2. He basically had the lead guaranteed for the next lap of the race. He was in front of the DRS of Hitman, but now he is down into P4 and is going to be hunted down by Vapor, who's only 1.7 seconds behind him. That's incredible. And also Speed Demon is already very close to Jimbo and Nick. He's going to try to catch up to the top runners, and he's going to try to get that lead back. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that was a very interesting incident from Thalo, because we saw exactly the same incident with 8 in qualifying. 8 had exactly the same problems into that corner, locking up the rears or maybe touching the grass on the outside layer at the entry, and yeah, just sliding around the same way that Thalo did. So this corner seems to be a little bit problematic for the drivers today, and maybe in general overall. I was thinking if it was maybe a setup issue that caused this, or if it may be external reasons that caused it. Maybe it's just a bad temperature on track at that certain part of the track. You never know, as Speedman goes by Nick. So he is now up into P6, and again behind Vapor, trying to chase him down again. And if you remember what the gap was a couple of laps ago, and you just see that the gap between Vapor and Speed Demon is now 1.6 seconds, then it's clearly showing that Speed Demon is a little bit quicker right now.
He's enjoying this track a lot. He has to. He didn't get the win last season out, but he seems to be in his own world, lapping around this track like crazy. Even though he may have, I guess, made a small mistake with choosing the tires for the pit stop, he is catching up to everyone, as is Vapor catching up to Fallow. So it is gonna get quite close when the first pit stops come for all of the top 5 basically, and then Speed Demon will be free to just try to get ahead of them provisionally. But now we have Jimbo trying to take the position back from Nick, and he does so very clean move with the help of DRS into turn 9 and turn 10. goes very clean through those corners and clinches the move, although he did get a 3-second time penalty as well for cutting the corners while fighting Speed Demon. I wonder if that fight affected him getting the warning and the penalty, but yeah, it seems that this second final corner is quite tricky for the drivers as Jimbo dives into the pit lane, but it does seem like quite a tricky corner because it's very easy to indeed clip the grass on the entry, but it's also very easy to just lock up the rears if you don't have the brake bias exactly set up. So we'll see how that goes.
One very interesting thing that I spotted about this fight between Nick and Jimbo is that after his crash with Liverpool, Nick stays to the inside line, if I saw that correctly. We saw him also in the fight with Speed Demon and Vapor and all those guys, and now with Jimbo again. And I got a feeling that Nick learned his lesson basically after what happened with Liverpool there, where Nick tried to defend the outside line, that Nick moved over to the inside line. Maybe it is for better defending, but I doubt it, but maybe it's also to go safely through the corner there and not risk another crash. As we see Vapor then going for the move on Thalo, and it seems like he gets through, and yes, Vapor is through and is now up to P4.
Speed Demon hunting down Fallow as well. Oh, as Vapor also locks up there and goes a little bit wide, which makes all of them bunch up throughout the final corner. Fallow struggling a lot actually through the final corner. Big twitch from him, trying to get in front of Speed Demon as much as possible, but Speed Demon, oh, he has to give up the position. Fallow was a little bit ahead into turn 1, and he didn't want to, Speed Demon didn't want to dive too much on the inside and risk spinning out of the side pod of Fallow. So that was quite smart from him. We see also Alfie with another, I guess, spin out of the final corner. Drivers seem to be struggling a lot in this new season. Maybe getting the setup right for the racing, maybe just too much eagerness, trying to push too much and not feeling out the cars quite yet. But yeah, Alfie with another coming with a wall, I guess it seemed like so, or maybe he kept it out of the wall, I don't know. But what you were saying with Jonas and Nick was quite interesting, because I wonder if it may have been that Nick used the controller and maybe the controller registered too much of a turn into the inside, and then that made them contact, them make contact and something. I don't know.
From what I saw, it was more that Nick made slight contact with the wall on the outside of the corner, and it basically bounced him back onto the track. I don't think there's anything that Nick could have done to avoid the collision. In fact, but that's just my opinion now from seeing this incident once only. It looked like maybe that Liverpool, so Jonas, got a little bit too close to Nick, but yeah, let's just say I don't think there's much that Nick could have done to avoid a collision. Mainly only not hitting the wall, but I think he got a little bit squeezed there, of course, as we have yellow flags again. That's for Uncle this time. Going slowly there down the start-finish straight. Seems to have a little bit of problems getting out of the final corner. And yeah, we got more people coming into the pits now. Anyway, yeah,
not a good race for the Mercedes engine teams, as Alfie, Souls, Call Me Uncle, and Jonas all not doing pretty well. Pellegro and Fallow just went into the pits, which made Vapor and Speed Demon jump up into P3 and P4, and they are both together following each other quite closely, as are the current leaders of our race, which are Overdrive and Hitman, but they are still yet to pit, as is Vapor, all of them trying to stretch out their stints. I of course understand Vapor and Hitman as they are on the hards, but Overdrive doing a good job on the mediums, maintaining a good pace and stretching out those mediums as much as he can, so he can have as fresh of the hard tires as possible for the end.
Yeah, I would definitely say so far that Overdrive is the biggest surprise of the weekend or of the race day. Like I said, you can't really expect something from the reserves or the rookies, I should say. You don't really know how good they are, but I don't think anyone expected Overdrive to be so good. We have Yellow Flags again. That seems to be for Souls once more. And Kwame Uncle also retired in the pit lane, so at least he did it on pit lane, so fair play. Yeah, so and definitely an interesting race that's shaping up now. We got a couple of guys that could theoretically still win the race. And here we got maybe two of them, Peligro Jr. and Thalo, both just came out of the pit lanes as on hard tires now. So I guess, yeah, they both should be able to go to the end on those tires, with Thalo putting up a little bit of pressure on Peligro Jr. here and trying to push him into a mistake, as we also have Nick now coming in for his first pit stop.
Yeah, I was just a bit focused. I was looking at the map. I think the AI of the Konmianko released him from the pit lane and made him retire on track, which is very weird. But anyways, when you were switching through the drivers, we could see that Vapor again was locking up into the second final corner. So it seems like he's still getting to grips with no ABS. Oh, and that was a big contact from Fallow. We heard that touching the wall. I think he didn't get any damage from that, but that was quite big. And Peligro seems to have and Fallow seems to be pushing a lot, trying to get in front of Peligro. Oh, and they make some contact. I don't think it resulted in any damage for Fallow. Peligro defending a bit unpredictably, it seemed like, for Fallow, who tried to go down the inside into turn 9. Overdrive, meanwhile, goes into the pits as one of the last, actually the last medium runner who started on mediums to pit now, as Nick gets a free second time penalty. Now let's see where will Overdrive go out. Oh, and there's some contact between Aid and Dolly in the fight for P10. But actually, as you can see on minimap, Overdrive leaves the pit lane just outside of Fallow and Peligro. So the undercut worked, but Overdrive has 3 laps pressure hard. So we'll see how that can benefit him. We'll see if he can catch up to those 2 drivers in front of him. But it will be also interesting to see when Hitman and Vapor go into the pit lane and when Speed Demon goes back into the pit lane. Is it possible to use softs for the end of this race at all? Or will they just run out too quickly? What do you think?
Look on. Oh, here we go for the move. Thalo on Peligro Jr. into the fast left-right chicane there. Good move from Thalo. You look at how old his tires are. So we saw Overdrive being one of the longest medium runners. He had 13 laps on the mediums. So Speed Demon could do, let's say he could do 5 laps. That would still be 10 laps on softs. That's way too long. As we know, the softs, they die out so quickly. They will only be good for like 2, 3, maybe 4 laps. But 9, 10, 11 laps, it's way too long for those. So he actually has to go for the hards again. Or not again, but overall. He started on mediums. He's just been on the mediums. You have to use 2 different tire compounds. So he has to go for the hards, actually. That I'm not sure if his strategy is paying out, really. But, keep an eye on that. But yeah, as of now, I think the best chances of winning are actually Thalos. Because he can go to the end. All those guys ahead still have to do a pit stop. And they will fall down quite far behind them. They will have much fresher tires, of course. But they also will have to fight through Peligro Jr. probably, Overdrive, maybe even Jimbo, but let's see. So Thalo is in a good position right now.
Yeah, we saw Fallow though. Oh, and as I was just about to say, Fallow can be quite inconsistent in his laps, and he is prone to some small mistakes which could cost him a lot of time. If Peligro is able to get close again, he would be able to maybe get into a fight and overtake Fallow, which would obviously lose time for the Haas driver. But we have Speed Demon back into the pit lane, finally switching onto the hards, as he probably was trying to back on lap 3 during the virtual safety car. But yeah, Fallow seems to be in quite good shape and pace. But as I said, he can be quite inconsistent. I think Hitman, even though he has the penalty, he is in a pretty good position as well, because he is able to maintain the gap in front of Vapor quite strongly, which makes me think that he has a lot of pace at his hand. It's just the penalty can hinder him, as well as it can hinder Peligro. Oh, and we have a close battle here between Nick and Alfie. Alfie trying to get back into the region of top 5, but he got pushed out wide very smartly by Nick. And then he tapped the wall on the exit and again went wide here. Alfie struggling a lot. He was one of the predicted favorites to maybe even win this first race. As Vapor obviously declared starting from the back, but Alfie did quite have a lot of mistakes so far in the span of those 70 laps, so that's not a good showing from the new McLaren driver.
Yeah, that just shows how one incident basically could ruin your whole race. Yeah, very unfortunate for Alfie there, as Thalo now gets a 3-second time penalty, and Peligro Jr. Also has one. Let's take a look at the penalties where we talk about it. So yeah, both Thalo and Peligro Jr. both have a 3-second time penalty. Someone who doesn't have a 3-second time penalty is Overdrive. And look at just how close he got the last couple of laps. And I wanted to mention it anyway. Overdrive had an incredible pace and tire management on the medium tires, so I think that could even come in handy here, as he's on the hard tires. Now he has 3 laps out with fresher hard tires, and that could make a difference between those 3 here, and we just see it here right now, live in front of us. He is gaining so much on those guys ahead, and I think he might be able to overtake them at some point now in the next couple of laps, maybe even.
Went wide there in turn 10, but he was able to get very close to Peligro. I think it's just a matter of a couple of laps. Meanwhile, Vapor goes into the pits for his only pit stop. He also is without a penalty, as is Speed Demon. Keeping it this clean can help all of them to fight for the top step of the podium.
Yeah, alright, so there we go. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah.
Also, Speed Demon just got the fastest lap and went past Jimbo, so he is in a much better position than Vapor, although Vapor will have the fastest tires, well, apart from Alfie, out of the whole grid. Overdrive, as I said, it was a matter of laps. He goes past Peligro already and tries to chase back Fallow, as both drivers in front of him, one of them has a penalty and one of them has to make additional stops. So if no one bumps up the pace compared to Overdrive by, I don't know, a couple of tenths a lap, a second a lap, then it might be Overdrive's race to lose, and it might turn around for the Williams team. Looking at the last season, it seemed like the draw was quite favorable for them, as now he gets very close to Fallow throughout turn 13 and into the second last corner, and through turn 15 he should be able to get it with the help of DRS and ERS on the straight, although Fallow had a pretty good exit. And now they're going past Hitman as well, who is also making his pit stop. He's gonna go out just between, I think, Vapor and Speed Demon. Yes, he just goes in front of Vapor, and Vapor gets a penalty. And will he be able to get past Hitman, who is on cold tires? Will he try and move down the inside? No, he won't for now. He will stick behind Hitman, as they both try to chase Jimbo down as well, who is in quite a good position after quite a calming drive from the Aston Martin driver. without any problems. But let's switch back to overdrive as he tries to move down around the outside into turn 9, and he does clinch it, and Fallow just spins it. Fallow loses it and gets front wing damage, goes into the wall. Again, going out wide into the grass. Hitman, Vapor, everybody goes past them. Jimbo actually let Vapor and Hitman pass, it seems like, or something. I'm not sure, but Fallow with front wing damage, struggling a lot. One of our favorites for the podiums today loses it, being overtaken for just after being overtaken for the lead.
Yeah, that's obviously disaster now for Thalos. It was looking so good. He obviously got just overtaken by overdrive, and with the penalty it was also looking very not so good, at least for him. And then also the charging Vapor from the back. But I think a podium could definitely been possible for him here today. But obviously that's now out of question. There won't be a podium for him. Unless there's a safety car maybe or something like this. But I don't expect a safety car now, as the gaps are quite spreaded. And yeah, the drivers seem to be calming down now and concentrating much. But yeah, obviously big disaster for the Haas team. It was looking so good for both of them, and yeah, as it stands right now, I don't think one of them will be on the podium, as we have Thalo then being round again, and it's a safety car now!
Oh my god, that changes a lot, because I wanted to just mention Speed Demon was catching a lot to Pellegro. As well as to overdrive, because Pellegro wasn't losing that much time to overdrive, so Speed Demon seems to be on pace, seem to have been on pace to chase overdrive, but now overdrive goes into the pits, probably will get fresh mediums in, so he is risking it, because I think he will lose the lead, but others are also pitting, Speed Demon pitting again. Hitman is staying out. Well, actually, sorry, it makes sense, because he's on fresh mediums. Pellegro is going on soft. A lot of now tactical shuffling is happening, as Hitman and Vapor are now taking the first two positions. Overdrive is in P3, and Speed Demon is in P5. Speed Demon and Overdrive both without the penalty. They are in pole position to now fight for the lead. Actually, what happened there? Speed Demon went on not fresh mediums.
Yeah, he doesn't have any
exactly
left.
He
That's the starting tires, the ones he started race on.
Yeah,
Of
that's
course.
right.
Yeah, but still better choice
He only
than
had
anything.
2 sets. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting now. A mix of the field here. This is gonna be very amazing now. So we got Hitman in the lead. He was having a good race so far as well. So yeah, good to see him here. At least able to challenge for the lead, but he got 6 seconds of penalties. That's a lot, especially with only 7 or 6 laps maybe even remaining. Vapor also got a penalty, very unusual for him. He's one of the more cleaner drivers.
In terms of track limits.
Yeah. Maybe those drivers also could get the penalty removed. Of course, that is still possible, but we don't include that here for now. Overdrive, however, he is having a phenomenal race. He is having a great pace, amazing tire management, and he doesn't have a single penalty so far. So that could be a huge point at the end for him, maybe here. Because as it stands, he obviously would win. Pellegro Jr. also 3 second time penalties for him. Speed Demon then again no time penalties for him, so that would put him into P2 at the moment. So yeah, a lot of interesting things that happening here right now. And also looking at the tires, I mean, look at this. We got the top 3 on medium tires and all on different ages of tires. So
the rainbow.
Yeah. Basically. Then we got Pellegro Jr. on the softs. Very interesting. Let's see if that tire will last to the end. I think his times will break or fall down after a couple of laps. Then we got Speed Demon on mediums again. We got Jimbo on hard tires. Nick again on softs. Then we got a bunch of medium runners again. 8, Alfie and Dolly. The Thala also on the softs and Souls on the mediums again. So very crazy. And I think that is gonna be a chaotic restart then.
Fallow will have a small chance of redemption, maybe being able to jump a couple of positions, because we know he has the pace. He just lost it twice. Of course, once after being overtaken for the lead, and a second time triggering the safety car. But he does have the pace, and maybe he can keep those soft tires alive for those couple of laps, and yeah, he can jump by a couple of positions to get himself some points at least, because that would be a disastrous race for our, I think he started P3 or P4, he was one of the Hasses that started there, but I also don't think Pete Demon will, our pole sitter, will be quite happy and satisfied with a P2 finish again after getting pole position in Australia and again finishing P2, so I think he will try his best to get past all those drivers and to hand down Overdrive, who is indeed in a pole position to win this race. I mean, he has the pace, he doesn't have penalties, but as we can see, Speed Demon does hold the fastest lap, so he's able to get the maximum out of this track so far today, getting the pole position and holding the fastest lap. So we'll see. It will be quite interesting. We'll have probably one more lap of the safety car as Souls is joining up the queue, and Fallow goes into the pit lane again for a set of one lap old mediums. So he actually switches that strategy, but indeed also Souls in the pit lane. So hopefully they are able to catch up to the queue, and we will have a restart very soon.
Yeah, and don't forget, there is a point for the fastest lap as well. Currently that one goes to Speed Demon, but yeah, we do have a couple of guys on the softs that maybe will snatch the fastest lap away, and we also have a lot of drivers on fresh mediums that could also have a chance at the fastest lap, but for now it stays to Speed Demon. Is even, I think, roughly 1 second slower than last season's fastest lap, actually. So yeah, just a little side note here. Yeah, but then of course we will be looking at the field now, as I do think as well that this is the last lap behind the safety car. So we then got 5 laps to go, and yep, safety car is coming in this lap. So we'll get ready to return to racing in just a couple of seconds. Then Hitman will lead them away then. This looks like a way better race for him than his actual debut last season in Brazil. Let's see what will happen then at the reset. Vapor then in P2, the champion from GSR season 14. Then behind we got Overdrive, who's having a phenomenal race so far. Then we got Pellegro Jr. on the soft, Speed Demon also without any penalties. Waiting for the opportunity, and I think Hitman already gone. A very early restart, and he kinda caught Vapor off guard there, who has to look into the mirrors now because Overdrive is right behind him now. It's a very good restart then from Hitman. As we go racing again, lap 24 of 29, here we go. Hitman P1, Vapor P2, Overdrive in P3. In the background there's a couple of position changes already. Thalo going for the move on Dolly, and he gets to P10 again. And we got Souls again into the pit lane. Not sure why is that. Yeah, he will basically have no chance to have any good result then, but we're obviously concentrating at the front because Overdrive is increasing the pressure now on Vapor. He really wants to get through here. He wants to win it on track. He doesn't want to win it on penalties. And he might get that move done, but here comes Pellegro Jr. then on Overdrive maybe now, as Pellegro seems to have a very good exit out of the previous corner, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. No, and it's a little bit risky going for a move into this very fast chicane here, as you don't want to throw this race away now. Even P4 would be a very good result then for the McLaren team. In the background we have Alfie at 8 and Thalo all going for a move at each other, and Thalo going up to P8, making up 3 positions since the restart. Good lap from Alfie, Thalo there.
Yeah, Thalo, as I said, has a small chance at redemption with a very good restart, but indeed Overdrive cannot get too close to Vapor, but now the DRS will be activated. Hitman though wanted to try and get away from this pack, because getting away by 3 seconds is not impossible, but Vapor is keeping him at bay. He is trying to win it after starting from P14, but Overdrive obviously behind with no penalties will disallow all of Vapor's efforts to try and get onto the top step of the podium, but we'll see. Overdrive using all of his battery, trying to keep within the DRS of Vapor. He does get it. They are staying so far in a small train. They have 4 laps to go to make something out of it. Speed Demon also still very close to Pellegro, but can't quite go for a move as Pellegro gets actually another 3-second time penalty. Jimbo actually is not quite far from this pack. He might gain something out of it, out of Pellegro's penalties for sure. Speed Demon again got very close to Pellegro as they lock up a little bit, but he couldn't go for a move there as Fallow is fighting with Nick, and on the outside of the final corner he also very smartly got the DRS as Alfie retires. Alfie spins out again, and it's a virtual safety.
It's a full safety
No, it's
car.
a safety car. It's a full safety car. For what reason? On the final laps of the race.
Basically, there's a McLaren stranded on the main straight. That is the
Well,
reason.
of course, but it will leave us with maybe 1 or 2 laps of racing, and as we saw, they couldn't quite get too close to each other for the move, so it might just stay like this if nobody will risk it, and it seems like no one from the top runners wants to risk it for one position if the risk is just spinning out of the race and losing all the points you've gained throughout the entirety of the race. So then Hitman, if he doesn't go into the pit, which he will for sure not, he will lead the restart again in front of Vapor and in front of Overdrive, who is now set for the race win with this safety car saving him maybe 2 or 3 laps of full-on push racing. But we will see. Maybe somebody will make a mistake on the restart. As I said, it will be just depending on if they will want to risk it, basically.
Yeah, and like you said, with that, it is basically every chance for Vapor gone to win this race, actually, as Overdrive is behind without a penalty. Also Speed Demon without a penalty. Those two, unless they will get a penalty on the final lap, pretty much secure spot on the podium, at least, with Overdrive looking to win it and Speed Demon coming home in P2. But yeah, will have 2 laps to go, I would assume. We have 8 in the pit lane. Let's see what tires he's. Oh, he's going for the softs. Bold strategy, but with 2 laps to go, that is definitely an option. Yeah, so let's see what on the final 2 laps will happen then, because yeah, like we said, anything can happen. This is Australia. We just saw Alfie losing it out of the final corner, and yeah, we saw a lot of drivers struggle on track today, actually. So I think it is very tricky to drive out there, and with only 2 laps to go, I think people might get a little bit desperate. They might go for risky moves, I should call it. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of action in those final 2 race laps then, and I think this is.
Don't forget.
Don't
forget that. Yes, don't forget that it's only the first race of the season.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know if they will want to risk it, especially as Overdrive is quite happy probably where he is, because he doesn't have Speed Demon pushing behind him, and he has a Pellegro who has soft tires.
And
and
8
unfortunately.
left the session. Oh no, do I have him? There he is. Oh, that's unfortunate for
Yes,
him.
just quickly. I don't think he will be able to quickly join in and fight. It was quite interesting what he could do, but
Yeah.
anyways, then let's see. Hitman this time waiting it out a bit longer, and he does go wide and into the second final corner, and through the final corner, Vapor is catching him off guard massively, and now into turn 1 they go. Will they be side by side? Will Vapor try for a move? No, he will try with a better line. and try to get a slipstream down into turn 3, as Overdrive is also quite close to both of them. Vapor is not gonna try to dive down the inside. Souls gets ahead of Dolly, but it doesn't matter. What matters is 2 final laps and the top 5 battling it out for the final podium positions, as we see Vapor not being able yet to overtake Hitman. Hitman with quite good defending, as Peligro went wide, and Speed Demon finally gets past Peligro, which now advances him into the position behind Overdrive, and that is right now the fight for the win. If he can get closer to Overdrive, but Overdrive also very close to Vapor, as we have Jimbo unfortunately spinning out of a very good points paying position. That's very unfortunate for our steward of the league, previous admin, but anyways, we see Overdrive, all of them very close, and Hitman there locking up, going wide again, but Vapor is not able to capitalize, is not able to get too close, and Overdrive is in a good position to try and attack Vapor. Now he will get DRS into turn 3, as will Speed Demon. This is one of the last occasions to try and battle for anything. Fallow getting another penalty, but Overdrive is a bit too far from Vapor, not being able to capitalize on the move. Speed Demon as well, not being able to close in. Overdrive gets a lot of slipstream from those 2 drivers ahead, which makes him be able to stay over 5/10 in front of Speed Demon. And now Fallow is battling with Peligro. Both of them are on 6 seconds of penalties, so this is the fight for P5. And Fallow does get ahead. No change in the lead battle for now. Hitman stays ahead of Vapor, and Overdrive gets very close to Vapor again. Oh, and Peligro spinning. They're losing a position to Nick. Now Overdrive didn't go for any risky moves, keeps it behind Vapor, and very smartly he is gonna go into the second final corner. Hitman locking up again, but Overdrive, the Williams driver, reserve driver of the league, is going through the final corner into the start-finish line to end it and win this race in front of Speed Demon, with great and very smart drive from him, as Vapor rounds out the podium for us. And Jimbo spins in the final corner. Very fitting end to a very chaotic race.
Yeah, there was...
on the Melbourne circuit.
Yeah, there was so much going on those final 2 laps. I think Jimbo also had a little incident with... to be fair, I don't really know what... I can't remember which driver it was. Yeah, but there was so much going on. We also had Ivy here in the chat saying that the car felt like the 2014 Ferrari car. Yeah, so that's not a compliment towards the car, I would say.
But one that understeered and oversteered at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but very exciting race for the first round of GSR Season 15. I think the season can continue like this, and then I would be very happy. And yeah, let's see if we can get the top 3 in for some post-race interviews then.
Speed Demon won't be happy, as I said, I feel like. I mean, he will for sure be happy, because it's a good start to the season, but I do think he won't be happy with the P2 fully, starting from P1. As we see here from the grid, Vapor starting 14th, but also Overdrive starting from P6 and getting the race win. Very nice from him. And only 1 warning, was it, I think?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Very, very great drive from him there.
Yeah, indeed. And Vapor in the end on the podium. Starting last.
Yeah, very good job from him as well. Okay, let's see. Overdrive. Alright. Let's see.
Ay, what a race.
Do we get them in here or do we switch over to podium interviews? We switch over, I'd say.
I-
Just in the middle of the
Um.
sentence, God. Right. Hello, guys. Just waiting then for Speedyman.
Indeed.
So let's hope he is joining us well soon. I mean, in the meantime, we could start with Vapor then, because Vapor was also P3. Maybe there he is. Nice.
There we go.
Even better. Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome then to the first post-race interviews. Welcome to the post-race interviews for the GSR Season 15 Australian Grand Prix Round 1. Thanks for being here. Make sure that your mic is working and everything. We start off with our third place finisher as usual, Vapor. First of all, thank you for being here. Congrats on the podium. I mean, I don't want to sound rude or anything, but I think this race already was quite more eventful and maybe even more enjoyable than most parts of season 14. But only maybe. How was it for you out there on track?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. It was very enjoyable actually. Coming through the pack, I had very, very low wings. I don't know if you could tell on stream. I had like 6-0 wings. So that meant I was blitzing everybody down the straight, but in the corners I was struggling a bit. I made a few mistakes here and there. But yeah, and obviously no qualifying for me today. Started at the back, as I'm going to probably do for the rest of the season. I really enjoyed it. You know, sort of, I've missed sort of fighting my way through the pack quite a bit. So, yeah, no, it was good. Obviously the only sort of downside was me going into the gravel in about lap 6 and the 3 second I got, but I'm actually trying to peel it because one of the warnings I only got 3 warnings, and one of them I got was on lap 1 at turn 1, and I'm gonna have a look at the clip now because I thought I couldn't really go anywhere and I had to cut the corner. If that's not true, then I'm just not going to bother. But if I can appeal it, hopefully I can send it in. I might be able to get the win, which I'd be really happy with. But obviously for now I'm P3, and you know, even if it stays like this, I'm super happy with today. I mean, I thought I was aiming for, as I said, I'm aiming for a top 5 today because I didn't do any practice either, so I just rocked up, and that meant obviously I'm making mistakes. You know, with no line, I was just sort of going wide places, locking up, and yeah, it was quite a scruffy race from me, but I made my opportunities where I needed to, and yeah, no, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, and I mean, in the end, it was basically just like last season was basically consistency that got you onto the podium since, yeah, a lot of other of the quick drivers ahead of you, they made mistakes, and yeah, that obviously gave you the positions, but also maybe with the safety cars you would have been on the podium anyway, or there's so many things that could come down to this that decided your position today. But yeah, I remember last season, obviously, it was a big talk that it was basically your first league season without a line and stuff like that. Do you think, or maybe, what means do you think? Do you already feel that you are maybe a little bit more consistent now in your second season without line and a little bit more quicker maybe even?
Yeah, probably. I've definitely got a lot faster. I don't know about consistent. I'm still making mistakes here and there, which I need to try and iron out. But yeah, no, I'm definitely a bit faster, and I think today I could have been. I could have probably today I could have been. I'd say I could have been fastest if I had done practice. I don't think I was the fastest driver out there today. I think there was a few. I think Speed Demon was probably faster than me, and. I just sort of I'd say my main struggle today was sort of maybe the actual consistency of my lap times. They got better as the race went on, but at the start I was struggling a bit. Obviously maybe just because the hards were getting warmed up, but as you say, I think I've definitely improved, and I definitely was strong towards the end. Especially I think without the safety car, I probably would have finished. I think P3 still. And obviously, you know, I think the safety car actually benefited me in a way because it got me track position and it just meant I could hold everybody off. But I think I would have been P3 regardless today. So I think it was the best I could have got. And I think the fact that I've been able to go from down to up and sort of I guess my racecraft at the start was good. It's sort of another highlight as well because I managed to get up a few positions. But I'd say yeah, that's my main strength. It's sort of the pace I've built on this game as I developed on No Line. But yeah, no, just a good race for me today. You know, I'm gonna try and keep going at it. I'm still targeting the championship this year, despite starting last every race. I think it's possible. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna give my best go. And if I could do it, I think probably the best championship I've ever won. But you know, championships are long, and I've got to keep at it. So yeah.
Yeah, obviously one point I also want to ask is your car, because obviously
Yeah.
in the end it's just a game, it's just a car. They are all on equal performance. There's a whole lot of discussion going on if the cars feel different, if they are different even on equal performance. I mean, we had it in the past years, quite huge discussions about it. Because they were basically not equal. But put that all to the side. Are you? I mean, your season is always a little bit more interesting because you could get into a new car and a new team. It always looks different. It feels different. Are you more happy now that you stayed with Alpine actually because you know the car and you know how the car behaves, or did you also maybe have wished for another team maybe as a new challenge as well, or do you maybe don't even feel any difference at all between the cars?
Good question. I don't think I do. I actually have camera settings changed between cars, so for my Sauber perspective, a lot more zoomed in than it is on my Alpine. But I wouldn't say I feel a difference in sort of the car, because obviously I know there's obviously the chat about them being non-equal, and I think it's a bunch of rubbish to be honest. But I think the cars feel the same across most cars, and I wouldn't say it's a difference between like when I'm driving the Mercedes in ETSR, for example, or here in the Alpine. I guess I don't mind the Alpine. Like, it's more of a livery, to be honest, and like the sort of halo. The Alpine's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's the best. Like, the thing that knows about the Alpines, you can actually see the edge of the halo over it. It's the only car you can see it on that for my camera settings, which does annoy me because I like it sort of. I'll be able to see the top of the halo instead of being able to see over it. So it's just something weird like that, really specific. But I wouldn't make anything major, to be honest.
Yeah, all right, Matt, going on to you. You got any questions for our champion from last season?
Not really, actually. Just congrats on the podium, and we'll see if you can get that penalty removed in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do have one question that just came into my mind when I say Matt, because I remember Matt talking about it on stream. We saw you locking up quite a couple of times into the second last corner. What was up with that? Was it maybe just set up, or maybe just a glitch and you didn't even realize it, or was there any problems going into that corner?
Yeah, I had one where I had a few times where I locked up. I don't know. I just think it's my brake bias probably. I wasn't really comfortable on 54. I kept locking my rears, so I decided to go to 55, and I had to sort of manage it. I was sort of wheel flicking through the second to last corner, so that's all it really was, to be honest. But I have particles off, so I couldn't see the lockup smoke most of the time. So you probably saw it on stream where I'm making them probably. I did miss it a few times, but I was probably making the apex quite a few times while locking up. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's anything major. It's just I've had it. Well, I've had it for the past while. I had it in a Kota last season, if you remember, at turn 10.
Yeah.
I kept locking up there. It's just one of those things I've got to try and get used to. But I wouldn't say it massively disrupted my pace in any way.
Yeah, all right. No, well, it was just interesting because we saw quite a few incidents in that corner during qualifying at the race where a couple of people struggled. So maybe there was a bigger thing to it all. But yeah, all right then. No, I think that's everything then. Once again, thank you for your time. Congrats on the podium, and good luck next week then in Shanghai.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Right then, we obviously move on to our second place finisher, Speed Demon. For you too, mate. Thank you for being here. Congrats on the podium. Yeah, I mean, good qualifying again, just like last season, pole position for you. But unfortunately, just like last season, it wasn't enough for the win. But at least the podium this time. I think. Considering what happened all in the race, I think you are pretty happy with the result, right?
Yeah, I'm somewhat happy with the result. Qualifying on pole, Australia, it's one of my favourite tracks, so I'm obviously going to do a bit of everything. I'll do compared to other tracks. Yeah, 10th on second from last place on pole. It was bonus, even though I invalidated my final lap, which I thought I was going to lose my pole, but no, I didn't in the end. The start was decent, held it off for the first few laps until the VSC. I'm not sure if I should have boxed it. It made some difference, but I don't think it made a complete major difference in the end because you had that safety car in the end. But I think it was annoying because I used both sets of mediums, so I had a few lap old mediums at the end compared to everyone else who had fresh, completely new mediums. So I think my tyres were on about 40% at the end, so I started losing grip. So if there was a chance to maybe fight back for a win, it was lost from me making that decision. But overall, not a bad race. Definitely a good pace for a win probably today, but it was overall just stupid mistakes that cost it again, which story of this league, isn't it?
Yeah, and we were quite discussing the thing. Was it planned that you were going for the mediums at the first pit stop? Because it would have maybe felt like a good opportunity to go for the hards and maybe go to the end, but because you never know what happens. Or was it intentional that you were going for the mediums there? And if so, why didn't you go for the hard tires at that time?
I don't know really, because I just literally made my decision up. But I think I was planning on doing a two-stop anyway, even with or without the virtual safety car. Because I remember, what was it? Start of last season, Vapor, he did a two-stop and was so much faster than me, and I was still ahead of him before the stop. So it was like I thought the two-stop was probably going to be fast today, and it probably was. Just I probably did it too early. But yeah, I mean, you never know with safety cars with last 10 laps, virtual safety cars with the first few laps. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something that you do now in the second season of GSR-Remaster? Basically, that you look into the last season, maybe look again into the races, what strategies were a good call, and what to do if a safety car comes out like this. Is that something you do, or do you just take it on like last season, just each race for how it is and just see how it goes?
Yeah, it's a bit of 50-50 really. It's like took a sim off last season because that was like the only dry race I had for that point in different leagues. So that was the only one I really had to go off. And when you have one race, it's always a bit harder to go off in multiple races. So yeah, I do look a bit about last season, but it's also about what's happening in the race at the moment. Because one stop wasn't bad, two stop it was even. So yeah, I'm not sure if I should have stayed out of a should have box. So you just never know what can happen if you do something different. But yeah.
Yeah, and looking at the season now ahead, obviously last season you were quite well in the fight for the driver's title. Obviously in the end it wasn't enough. This season it looks a little bit different. We have many new guys in. We have a lot of quick drivers in. We have more than just Vapor, Laza and you fighting for the title. We got like maybe 6, maybe even 7 drivers that could challenge for the title. Do you think that this might help you because it could create a little bit more chaos and could create a couple of moments where you can basically sneak through, snatch a win here and there, and maybe be even able to challenge for the title at least to the final race this year?
Yeah, I think it can do because, like you said, probably 7 fast drivers who, depending on each day, could win a different race. Where last season it was realistically me, Ladder, and Vapor who were the only drivers. So if I can consistently get my podiums again like I did last year, it's definitely going to be a high chance for me to win because not everyone's going to be that consistent, or they might miss a couple of races, which you just have to see how it goes. But China next weekend, I'm not a fan of it. I'll do terrible there because it's just a slippery, sloppy, horrible track that I've never liked. So if I can get a podium there, I will be very pleased with that. So just see how it goes further in the season as well. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. And Bet, on to you now.
I do have a small question. Are you uh maybe not fully satisfied that again you got a pole position in Australia and again you finished P2, second season straight?
Um, yeah, it's always annoying, but uh, I don't mind it because I know other people had the pace today, so I could have made a silly error not going out on the one stop, but slightly annoyed, slightly not annoyed. It's yeah, teams can't win in this league. Yeah, second place a stupid amount of times, third place stupid amount of times. So close yet so far from a win.
Okay, then yeah, I get that. Then that's all from me.
Yeah, thanks.
And congrats on the podium
Yeah,
also.
thanks.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
me too, mate. Thanks for being here in the post-race interviews, and congrats on the podium, and good luck next week then in Shanghai.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right, and then finally, last but not least, of course, we move on to our race winner, and it's a newcomer here. Overdrive, welcome to the post-race interviews. Thank you, first of all, thank you for being here. Congrats on the podium and congrats on the win. Yeah, I mean, what better way could there be to celebrate your debut here in GSR? I mean, it was a pretty eventful races. There was a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of guys challenging for the title, for the win here tonight. But in the end, you took it, and I mean, you must be feel pretty happy now.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thank you very much, and shout out to Speed Demon and Vapor. They had a crazy race. I'm not gonna lie, when I signed up for this league, I really didn't want to be tier one because I thought that'd be like so far off the pace. And then I found out that I was too quick to be tier two, so I was like, gosh damn it, man. So I came into today, I was just like, if I get points, I'll be happy. I've done no practice, and I chucked it P6 in quali, and I was like, damn, maybe we can get like a P5 here. And then turn one, just like everything sort of fell into my favor, and then just playing it patient. And I forgot who it was, but I just followed a Haas. I just stayed in his DRS, and I managed to take my mediums quite long, and it really helped me in the long run to stretch my mediums, and my hards felt so good at the end. And I also did have a lot of luck on my side, I'm not gonna lie. I think if there wasn't those last two safety cars, Speed Demon definitely had me. Like, I was just watching that gap go down. I was just praying every single corner just to like somehow find time, keep it on the circuit. But yeah, the race felt great. For a first race, it's an honor to win, genuinely. So it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, it was pretty spectacular to watch you. I mean, I mean, probably the only people that were more surprised on how long you could take the mediums were Matt and I. I mean, we were just watching you and couldn't believe that you were not just getting those tires so long, but also staying with, I think Hitman that was the house ahead of you. Yeah, that was just crazy to watch, and obviously the hard tires then, that was maybe even better. And yeah, I mean, a little bit of luck always belongs to it. Yeah, but I mean, also one key factor of you winning today was obviously not getting a penalty like all those other guys. Of course, Vapor now said he might get his removed, so this could shake things up. But yeah, how are you feeling towards Melbourne then in general? Because if you don't get a penalty on the track, in a race on the track, that probably means you feel pretty confident at a track. So how are you feeling for Melbourne then? Because it was a very good race from you.
I'm not gonna lie, my last league race that I did was on F121. So since then, I've honestly just like been playing career mode with regular corner cutting. And then I remembered like in league races you have to have strict on. So I was like, whatever you do, do not go off the track. So I think the most conscious thing I was like thinking of today was just keep the car within the white lines. And I only got one warning, which I'm like actually very happy about. And yeah, I once I saw was one of the McLarens. I think it was Pelly. Once he got a 3 second on lap 6, I think I knew that people were going to be over pushing a lot. So I knew if I just let the race come to me, it would be very important to like not get a penalty in the long run. So I just made it my mission to just honestly just save the tires, not get a penalty. And honestly, it was working. Like the mediums never really fell off. I think towards the end I got one warning because of tire wear. But I only hit like I think 65%. I think I still could have gone around like 4 more laps on those mediums. But yeah, the no penalties thing was huge. Like at the end of the race, all I had to do was just stay in the DRS of the front two and just not get overtaken by Speed Demon, which had me stressing a lot because he was hunting me down. But yeah, it all sort of played into my favor, which I'm very grateful for. So that was really good.
Yeah. And looking ahead now into the season, I mean, obviously that was only a first race. There could be like some completely crazy race today, and next week it's all going to be different. But looking ahead now, already one. No, I don't want to say because Vapor said you might get this one, but at least a podium already, and just a couple of races in, and the season doesn't seem too long anymore. So, how high would you rate your chances for the title? I mean, obviously you're new here and you still don't know a lot of those guys and all that stuff. But how confident are you that you can repeat the same results for the next couple of races as well?
Honestly, I'm just gonna take it one race at a time. Like, I don't think I'll have the pace weekend to weekend. For example, China. I honestly, if I get top 10, I hate that track so much. A top 10 would do wonders for me. But I'm just here to I'm here to have a good time. If I end up in a title fight, I will do my best to win it. But yeah, there's some really fast guys here. Like, just judging off the pace from the bat, I think I put together like an almost perfect lap by my standards. I think maybe there was a tenth or two, and yet I was still like half a second off pole. So I think for sure there's definitely some work to be done pace wise if I want to fully fight for the championship. But I know I've got race pace, and I know on this game I have quite good time management. So if I can use that to my advantage, it would actually help me in the long run. And the points are scored in the race. So if I can just consistently churn out some podiums, then I can maybe end up in a title fight. So
yeah, maybe, who knows? Season is long, so anything can happen. Matt, you got any questions then for our first time race winner?
I was getting something else done, and I didn't fully actively listen. But you didn't ask Overdrive if, like, considering his status as a reserve, if he can continue on to race in the next races as well, fully, maybe. Well,
I mean,
if
huh?
if not, then I would wanna ask that, and also I hope that Speed Demon would be able, because you are a worthy addition to the league. It seems like, because you both got a podium, so
He's asking if you want a full-time seat, basically.
basically, yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't know. It's something I'll have to decide. Like, I just wanted a league where I could just like have a chill race every week. Maybe not every week because like I have been very busy with exams and stuff. But after today's performance, I think there is a chance that I might take up the offer if it were to come. Because yeah, the pace felt really good today. I didn't feel like I didn't fit in this tier, so I wouldn't rule it out for sure.
Well, probably you have it coming,
Yeah, thank you very much.
I must say.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm very glad I didn't put you in tier 2 now.
Yeah, that would have been dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're done here then. I don't have any more questions. I don't think Matt got any more questions.
Nope, just congrats on the win. It was a very nice drive, and we'll see how it goes with the post-race penalties being added.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, same from me then. Thank you for your time. Congrats on the win here and the podium. And good luck maybe then for the next race you're doing. And yeah, well, welcome to GSR, I would say. And
Thank you very much.
yeah, just gotta say, if you keep the win here, you will be also added to the all-time wins list, which will be updating again, which we took some time in the meantime between the seasons to update it all and put it on the current standings. And yeah, if you keep the win, you will be added onto that as well. So congrats on that as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, right then, and I think that's it then. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt, it was a blast to share the commentary booth here with you again. I mean, what a season opener it was, right?
It was quite awesome, and I said it would be a calm race, but actually it was very nice fighting for the top 10 runners, basically, and we had some small incidents here and there, but I think the fighting helped against this chaos, against this small chaos. So it was very nice to watch and commentate indeed with you.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you might have another chance at commentating a great race, because we are continuing continuing this season, of course, with Tier 2 as well on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We will have the next race of GSR again at Australia here, so make sure to tune in for that as well, because I think that is gonna be even more chaotic, maybe, but just in the best way, of course. Yeah, hope to see as many of you again then on Friday, and next week we continuing on with Shanghai then, round 2 of GSR Season 14. Until then, I'm Soren, on my side was Matt. We hope you enjoyed the stream, and see you guys then next time. Bye bye.
Goodbye.